Hello boys and girls and welcome back to Play Fever, and recently I tested Metal Gear Solid Delta Snake Eater on the Steam Deck to see if it was even playable. You find the video right up here, and as I promised I wanted to do the test on the MSI Claw8 AI Plus, and now it is time for that test to see how the game runs on that device. And the game has been patched ever since, but it was mainly for crash fixes, so the performance is still basically unoptimized. And what I've done is I've set up 6 different profiles, starting with a battery saver mode, then a couple of balanced options, a 1080p stress test, a max performance test, and finally the profile that I think is the real sweet spot for the Claw. And we're going to run through them all so you can see exactly how the handheld handles Metal Gear Solid Delta. And if you like these kind of handheld performance tests, hit the thumbs up button, drop a comment below if you've got any questions, and do subscribe to the channel if you like this kind of content, because it really helps me keeping making these videos. And now off we go. We're starting off with this, which is a travel mode battery saver, 15 watt of TDP 1280 x 720, and we've got shadows on low, textures on medium, and illumination on low, bloom is low, and motion blur and depth of field are off. And this is actually rather functional. It doesn't look great, but it doesn't look too bad either. It's quite playable, and even here we have actually, where there's quite a bit of action, I'd say a fairly steady 30 FPS. And I've tried a couple of different areas in the game, and I've just replayed these just to give you an idea of what the different settings cause in terms of FPS. And I'm just lobbing grenades here just to show you what happens, and I'm trying to keep the game busy, so excuse the poor performance in terms of gaming, but I just wanted the game to get a little bit busy. And this is the next profile. We've got still TDP at 15 watt, everything is the same, and we're going 1366 x 7068, and still we got the shadow zone low, we got textures medium, and we've got the global illumination on low and bloom on low. And this is a little bit better in terms of visuals. It's obviously not excellent yet, but yeah, it you'll see now it kind of keeps a fairly steady frame rate as well, a little bit lower, but we're reaching kind of 28, 29, the odd 30 as well. This still remains pretty playable. So then the next profile I want to show you is a balanced one. I want to take the TDP up to 22 and the resolution at 1366 x 768. Frame rate is always at 30, and the upscaling stays on quality. I'm going to put the graphic presets on medium, everything on medium, shadows and textures, and I'm going to keep the illumination on low, the bloom on low, and the motion, blur and depth of field are always off. And this starts to become fairly pleasant to look at, and it actually works very well. I mean, we've got a pretty steady, even in action rich areas, we've got a pretty steady 28 to 30 FPS, and this works very nicely. And what I want to do next here, I go TDP25 and we go full HD 920 times 1080, and we're going to keep the graphic presets on textures are medium, shadows are low, global illumination is low, bloom is low, and obviously motion, blur and depth of field are off. And yeah, this looks very good. I like the look. I mean, obviously this is a beautiful game to look at, but really here we are beginning to reach the limits of the machine. The frame rate still arrives or reaches sometimes the 30 FPS, but in general, as soon as the game gets more busy, we're going to see some quite significant drops. You can still play it this way, but yeah, it's not going to be the best experience. And then here I wanted to test the max power mode, so I've left everything as it was before, but I've uncapped the frame rate to 60 and I've actually went to the P30, and yeah, just went straight into the action here. And as you can see, there isn't really a significant gain on frame rates, and that has to do with the fact that the processor can actually handle only so much, and even if you give it more power, it's not magically going to gain more frame rate. It's just going to run hotter, and that's it, because the game isn't optimized yet. So we'll see if that will change at some point. There we go, nice explosion here on the helicopter. And finally then we've got our last profile, and this is the one that I deem the most usable one. I went down to TDP25, 1366 times 7068, and frame rate is capped at 30 again. And here we've got the shadows at medium, the texture is high, the illumination is low, bloom is medium, and motion, blur and depth of field is off. And really, this is, in terms of power and frame rate and the looks of the game, this, I would say, at least now, and in my opinion, this is the most rounded package. You've got a nice look and you've got a fairly solid performance, and this is how I'm actually playing the game, and I'm really enjoying playing the game in this way. And by the way, I really have to say, this isn't a review, it's just looking at the game itself, but I'm really enjoying Metal Gear Solid Snake Eater. It is a beautiful re-rendition of the game. And that's it. This was Metal Gear Solid Delta Snake Eater on the MSI Claw8 AI Plus, trying 6 different profiles, giving you one that I deem stable and efficient. Game is not perfect, but it's definitely playable with the right settings, and we'll see what will come in terms of optimization. If you enjoyed the video now, please give it a like, let me know your thoughts in the comments, and of course, if you like this kind of content, subscribe to Play Fever for more tests. I've got plenty more lined up for you, and if there's a game you'd like me to test for you, just thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.